Howdy folks, welcome to a kind of a walkthrough of Ars Notoria. This is a big open world survival crafting game that I recently found, and I've spent about 25 hours in it so far. Had a good time. I think this has a ton of potential. It's very, very deep, very, very complicated. It's also very, very buggy. And after 25 hours, I'm still a little bit confused about things, but I thought I would make a guide of just how to get started, get through the first bit of the tutorial, because it doesn't exactly hold your hand, and it's easy to get kind of lost and just overwhelmed. So let's hop in. We're going to click Start Game. I've already got a couple characters. This is my main character I've been playing with, and I've got a bug report guy that I've been gathering some data for some bug reports. But I'm going to make a new character, and we're going to call this YouTube tutorial. There we go. So the character creation, there's a lot to it. You can go through and change a lot of different things. I'm just going to leave this at default, but as you can see, you can go through and customize your character a lot, even down to like the ears and stuff. So if you like character customization, that's pretty nice. Actually, let's do random. There we go. He looks scared. He looks like he's ready for a YouTube tutorial. Let's do that. Now you can't just click on the thing. You have to click accept once you pick your character. So click accept. Now we're going to create a world. So I'm going to say new. You can see I've got the two for each character. So we're going to do a new world. There is sandbox, normal, and survival. I've only been playing on normal, but you can get a little bit of a little weaker enemies, less aggressive kind of, and then the opposite of that, much stronger. We're just going to go with normal, so we'll leave that alone. And to click accept. The only thing you really need to fill in here if you're just playing by yourself is a name. So we're going to call this, again, we're going to call this YouTube. I want to name it the same as the character, YouTube tutorial. You can do randomized world seed. Let's let that go. Default day duration is 24 minutes and default 28 days in the season. We're just going to leave all of this alone, but you can customize some stuff. Some of this is multiplayer specific. Some of it I think is maybe coming later. Anyway, all defaults and confirm. And then we're going to click accept on YouTube tutorial. And there is a whole cutscene here. Kind of explains the backstory. A village gets burned down. Your typical start. Ouch. That looked painful. We're going to skip that. We're going to hop right into the meat and potatoes of the game here. So you can turn all this off when you're used to playing it. We're going to go ahead and leave this. I do have disable pop-up because it's always popping up in your face. If you want that on, this will be unchecked by default. So here we are. If you missed it, it did say press J. There's no other indication if you happen to miss that pop-up that that's what you're supposed to do. So we're going to hit J. J is your journal. Pretty standard stuff. And we're just going to click on this getting started quest here. So again, this doesn't really hold your hand. You kind of have to just play around and figure things out. Chop a small tree or shrub. Now, I happen to know that I can just grab one of these, but I'm going to do what it says. Press left mouse button to hit a tree. All right. I press the left mouse button. Nothing's happening. You got to hold the left mouse button. There we go. This is why I'm making this tutorial, because if you just do what it says, you will get stuck. All right, pick up stone pieces. If you look around at your starting area, there should be some stones around. Also, I'm avoiding that rat over there. We don't want to fight the rat just yet. He's in combat mode. I happen to know that if I push 1, there's nothing bound on the hotbar. It'll go out of that. Craft a stone axe. Done. Use the axe to fell a tree. So one of the mechanics in this game is it will auto-equip whatever tool you need. So it says press E while pointing at a tree. So I'm going to press E. It's going to pull my axe out. You don't have to have that on hotbar or anything. It'll just auto-detect the best tool for the job. Now you can also press E to chop, or left mouse button. Either one works. So we're going to chop down this tree. I'm going to need the wood, so let's go ahead and chop it down. All right, it wants us to level up a woodcutting skill. So press K to open skill menu. So we press K. It's going to default to the combat pane, so we're going to minimize that. We'll go to harvesting. And here is our woodcutting. So we need to level up a skill. I like the one that gives you extra experience when you're starting off because it just lets you level up very fast. But you can mouse over and read each through one of these. We're going to click that. Craft a primitive weapon. Press C to open crafting menu. Again, this defaults to tools unless you scroll down, so I'm going to minimize that. And we'll just go ahead and make ourselves a training sword. Craft that. I to open inventory. Equip a weapon. Okay. How do you do that? There's a couple different ways. You can click and drag, and when you click something, if you can equip it somewhere, it'll highlight green. You see this is a tool. It's not equipable on our character. This is. You can also right-click on stuff to get a context menu. You can see double-click will equip, so we can just double-click on that. All right, this is one of those confusing parts. It says defeat an enemy. We're holding our axe. You can defeat an enemy with an axe. However, that will block you from progressing in the tutorial because you won't have the combat point needed because you used a tool to kill the enemy. So now what? Well, there's a couple of different things. So again, I just know this from playing the game. If I right click with a tool in my hand, it'll put that tool away. If you right click with a weapon in your hand, that's block. Now if I don't have anything in my hands and I have a weapon equipped on my character and I left click, I will draw that weapon out and I can go defeat the enemy. So they just need to add a little more text and info to the tutorial because you can get locked. And I went through this frustration when I was first figuring out this game. What you can also do is we go back into the inventory menu. You can click and drag and put this on our hotbar. There are multiple hotbars. I think there's like 9 of them. And when you're out here in your character, you can use the scroll wheel. Scroll up, scroll down. So now if I want to go defeat an enemy with a sword, which is what I need to do to progress the tutorial, I can just pull my sword out. So when you spawn in, there should be a wagon with some supplies, and there'll be rats or foxes or something guarding that. You can go defeat them. So we want to go defeat this little rat right here. Come here, you dirty rat. So just keep left clicking on the rat. They're pretty easy to kill. It's going to be a couple of them here, but we'll just follow the tutorial. Now it says assign attribute points and learn a combat ability. Press K to open the skill menu. I'm going to get over here so the rat doesn't bother us. Hopefully. All right, skill menu. Now it wants to learn a combat ability. So we need to go back to combat. Click on sword. Now if I had killed that rat with my axe, I wouldn't have this. I wouldn't be able to progress. So you need to make sure you kill your first enemy with an actual weapon. Click on sword, and I'm just going to go learn this one by default. Again, you can mouse over and it tells you all the different things. So we're going to learn that. Now what? Well, it doesn't tell you, but you need to go to your inventory screen, and you need to level up your character. That's how you can assign attribute points. So go to inventory. If you can level up, this will be glowing. Click on that, and then you have 3 points available. So I'm going to put 1 point into strength and click accept. And there we go. So if you were a new player, I don't know, you might find that, but I was lost. I had to dig around the menus and it was painful. So again, that's why I'm making this quick tutorial. All right, build a campfire. We're just going to go through, and it's going to be popping up new quests all the time. We'll just follow the tutorial. So press B, opens up your build menu. You've got all these different categories. You can kind of see, oh, there's a campfire here. So we want to go to encampment. There's a campfire up here. Go to campfires. And look, there's a campfire. However, I can't build a campfire. Missing resources. So if you come down here, you can mouse over and you can see, oh, I need 2 rocks. I have 0. So if you right click or push B, the build menu will go away. So we need some more rocks. Okay, there's one rock. What about this big rock? If I push E to interact, I don't have a proper tool, which I think it's called a sledgehammer, to break this, but so it'll just pull out my sword. And again, you can either hold E on this or you can use left mouse click. If we hit this enough times with our sword, it will break. And there we go. We got 5 more stone. I think you can also punch it, but as long as you break it, it'll give you rocks. All right, now we can go back over to encampment, campfires, campfire, and we'll just left click to put that down. Okay, now it says find any food. Okay, there's a lot of different foods around. If I run over here by a tree, a lot of times around trees, there'll be food. I think that's wood. No, that's a raspberry, actually. That's iron ore, that's for later. A lot of times around trees, there'll be mushrooms. Also, we killed a rat. Where'd the rat go? He's over here. Did he despawn? I think the rat despawned. So that's fine. We'll kill another rat. He's food. Come here, food. Oh, crap. What did the fox say? The fox said he's going to kill Kerbo trying to do his tutorial. I'm almost dead. Nice. I got too close to the fox, apparently. All right, so we're going to press E on that. And then E is also take all. I'm going to go ahead and just grab that because we're going to need stuff for later. I'm going to grab that, but I'm going to leave the meat there. We don't want rat meat. That sounds gross. All right, cook food over a campfire. So let's go back to our campfire. You can see when we're picking up this stuff, we're unlocking all kinds of recipes. All right, push E to interact on the campfire. Now to cook food, you can click and drag. You can right click. You can also see that to move it to the ingredient slot is double click. So we're just going to double click that fox meat over there. We're going to click cook. Now we don't know any recipes yet. You can see there's all kinds of recipes to make. And there's various levels of cooking instruments that have more and more ingredients you can use to get better and more complex foods. Right now we just have a campfire, so it's a single slot. But if you're able to do something with it, you can push the cook button. There we go. We discovered fried fox meat. So if we go down here to meat dishes, there we go. We made some fried fox meat. Double click that. Hey, look, we can also cook raspberries. So you can discover new recipes just by putting stuff in here and seeing if you can cook it. But we're going to pretty much just stick to the tutorial. All right, eat the prepared food. I for inventory. Again, you can right click. You can see consume. There we go. We ate some food. Collect fibers and collect wood. So we're one short on the wood. Any of these little shrubs, you can just hit E on them to get wood. Then we need some fibers. Where do we get fibers? Well, it's telling us where. Do you see a little arrow on the mini-map up there? That's pointing us. If we hit M for map, we can see there's fibers here. These are little resource locations on the map that tell you where the various things are. So we need to go up to this yellow circle and get some fibers. Let's go do that. Also, I should just show you, while you have your inventory open, you can hover over these to see your effects. So we're hot. We also ate some fried fox meat. So we got +2 to finesse, +14 to our health, and +0.2 to health regeneration. So we healed up because we ate some fox meat and it gave us the heals. So we're going to come over here to this cotton. We're going to interact with that. We're going to just hold down E. We don't have a sickle, which is a tool we can make. So it's just going to default to the sword. You just chop that up and you get fiber. There we go. Skill unlocked, reaping. I do believe you run faster with your stuff put away. So with one, I can put away the sword on the hotbar there. All right, build a tent. Again, build menu. Most of the stuff is kind of common sense, but it gets pretty convoluted. We can see, hey, there's a tent on encampment. It makes sense. Tents. You can either build this tent or that tent. We'll go ahead and build this one because I have enough stuff for it. And I'm going to go ahead and just set it. It doesn't really matter where it sits, but I'm going to put it right by our campfire. Left click to place. Place a pelt inside the tent. So we need some place to sleep. We got a pelt from that animal. So we go back to encampment. Beddings. Pelt. And it takes any animal pelt you can make a bed out of. So we'll just place that in our tent. Again, hit B. Oh, no, B doesn't work. All right, right click to dismiss the build menu. If you're already in placement mode, you have to right click. Rest on the pelt. So we'll come up to the pelt, eat, interact. You can set your respawn here, or you can rest. When you're resting, the first time you rest, it's going to kick off this cutscene that's going to take us further into the tutorial. Normally, you would just sit there and rest and regain health. So the guard leader's going to go through. He's like, "Hey, you're the guy from the village, blah blah blah." When you go through this, you can read it. But so they're going to take us to the training camp. This is the next phase of the tutorial, and it gets even more confusing. So the commander is like, "Yeah, you're the one. They attacked our village. I'm the survivor. He wants us to go do stuff. Fine, I'll fight." And you can see we got some approval with the commander. Now we have to remember, this is the commander. That's what he looks like. He's not labeled at all. Same with the quartermaster, the cook, the blacksmith. This game does not hold your hand at all. All right, we're up to level 4. Look at that. Then it's going to go through a little rigmarole here because we completed the quest. And it's eventually going to tell us to go to the obstacle course, I believe. It has to go through the quest completed. You can also just hit J at any time to bring up your journal. Yeah, there it is. New quest, Neophyte gauntlet. So that's what it wants us to do. Go to the obstacle course. So again, we have a little marker on our mini-map. Let me make sure that's actually pointing. Yeah, obstacle course. So that is pointing at the right one. I think it may have us do this later, but these are fast travel stones you can activate. That will be important later. But I'm going to just follow the tutorial and hopefully not break anything. I have a tendency to go do my own thing in games, and I quickly got lost the first time I played this. Speak to the Battlemaster. Again, nobody's labeled, so you just have to kind of talk to people and figure out who they are. He looks like he's in charge. And he is indeed the Battlemaster. And he wants us to go through this. I'll do my best, sir. I'm here to learn. That sounds like a good response. We should get some approval for that. Maybe not. I guess not. All right, complete the gauntlet. Great. What does that mean? Well, I eventually figured out that you need to come over here and click on this. And then we have optional destroy dummies and beat the time record. Now you can start this and then just sprint around the outside and go to the very end and you're done. But we'll actually go through the thing. I don't know how in the world you can beat the time record without cheesing it. But anywho. Oh no, it's not the notice board, it's the door. There we go. So, do you want to start the gauntlet? Sure. Let's do it. You can see there's all these training dummies in here, and there's a timer. I'm not going to worry about the timer. Let's just get through here. So we just walk through this. It's going to hold us. It's going to tell us to hold left shift to sprint. We're going to fall down a lot. First time I did this, I'm like, well, control is crouch. You can just crouch out of here. The character movement is very, very janky in basic. So you just kind of got to get used to that. It's very floaty, very janky. You can hit these guys if you want. And you can literally just kind of run through here. It doesn't really matter. The only thing to remember is you have to time these jumps right to get across. So we're going to use shift. Sprint. Whee! Just run through here. And it's going to tell us left control to crouch to get underneath. Then we got the little spinning thing of death. Just run through that. Whee! When we get up here, it says press spacebar. Now we're in climb mode, so we'll climb up here. I don't know how you're supposed to do this in like a minute 20 or a minute 30, whatever the minimum is. That would be pretty impressive. Just because the movement's so janky. So I think, if I remember right, we can jump over this. Yeah. We just need to jump. The barrels here are a little bit challenging. Just make sure you jump over the barrel and then you can get up here. Then you're fine. Okay, hold left control while sprinting to slide. Whee! This guy's in our way, so we'll knock him out. And then yeah, you just run through here. If you just keep running forward and get your jumping done right, you'll be fine. It's really just telling you how to move in the game. It's not critical. If you want to try to beat the time, you can definitely do that. I gave up. I just wanted to get through here. So when this comes down, whee! I like to power jump over that. Whee! All right, we made it through. We didn't complete any of the optional stuff, but that's fine. We're gonna go talk to this guy again. He's gonna go through some dialogue. He wants us to go to the training camp, which we were right next to if it would have left us down there. Oh, that's a different training ground. Never mind. It's right over here. Now we got to talk to this guy. I'm going to learn some basics. So we have various weapons here. I've already got my training sword, so I think I'll just use that. What's up, my dude? Actually, did it not start the quest? I heard it is combat training camp. Yeah, for some reason it didn't fire that up. I guess I may have missed a press J prompt. So even though we have a weapon, it looks like it wants me to pick up a weapon, so we'll just grab. Choose a weapon. Yeah, I did that. No? So it wants me to take that. Alright, head to the combat field. Follow me, sir. Sorry. Oh, he like destroyed the whole fence. Execute combos. Hold left mouse button to execute a fast attack combo. There we go. So just hold left mouse button a few times on our training dummy here. Execute strong attacks. Learn a strong attack and use quick slot hotkeys to activate it. So this is where combat gets a little more complicated. So we need to go K for skills. And we have a fast attack cleave, so I'm just going to drag that down to my number 2. Now if I come up to him and hit 2. No? Is that not what it wanted? No, that's not what I wanted. Alt? No. No. Learn a strong attack and use quick slot hotkeys to activate it. I thought that's what I just did. No? I'm trying to give a tutorial. I don't even know how to do this. That's a fast attack. I mean, I guess we can learn more. Oh, strong attack. I'm dumb. That's why. Never mind. I was reading it wrong. There we go. Strong attacks. We gotta let for the cooldown go. Let it recharge. Yeah, I was just reading that wrong. That was my bad. The weather effects are kind of cool. Even in wintertime, you'll get like a foot of snow on the ground. Pretty cool. Alright, 2 out of 3. You just gotta let it recharge again. Nothing too fancy here. He'll just follow you around. Here we go. Evade enemy attacks. So if you tap left shift, you'll evade. And we got a parry. He gets a little indicator above him. Yeah, it's a little convoluted, but eventually worked. Defeat the opponent. Avoid getting hit. That's going to be hard. Because I'm pretty terrible at combat. Alright. Open the class tab in your inventory. Select and learn a combat class. So hit I for inventory. Classes. We'll just do swordman. So select class. I think your first one you can pick for free, but you can also, if you have the right skill, you can change this at any time, I think. But we're going to go swordman. Select class. Yes. Then we can click a class ability. We can do cadence or resurgence. I kind of like resurgence because it restores our stamina. So we're going to click that one. Confirm. And then this is I think that's just a passive. We need to do a strong attack. Didn't trip over your own feet. Yeah. We did stuff. We have leveled up. I'm going to take these off my hotbar by just dragging them off. Clean up our hotbar. Quest completed. Combat training. It's getting dark. New quest, Lost Home. Press J to open journal. Speak with the commander. Alright, we need to go back to the main camp. We have to remember, though, what the commander looked like. Also, you can see up at the top there, it is almost 8 o'clock at night. He might be sleeping. They all have kind of their own routine. Got kind of muddy out. So, we were talking to people... Where? That's a great question. Which one of these is the commander? Quartermaster's tent, commander's tent. Alright. We need to go to this one up here. Oh yeah, this is the main gate we were talking to him at. So early in the day, he was standing out here, but he's probably headed to his tent now. I'm going to guess it's the big tent. Well, if you see these in the world, you can pick those up and it gives you like extra strength and whatnot. I'm going to follow the tutorial. Alright. Speak with the commander. Blah, blah, blah. Lore stuff. I'm going to skip through. Alright, we've got a little bit of approval. Here we go. Form a squad. I'm solo. That's how I like to play. We're just going to control the one character. You can also do a party where you can switch between characters. I'm just going to do solo. This depends on how you want to play. Alright, return to Lindale Village. Man, I wish I had my horse. We can officially get a horse. We need to return to the village. So we need to go all the way down there. I'm going to put a cut in here. And we'll finish up down there at Lindale Village. Actually, before I leave here, remember I mentioned the fast travel stone? I don't know if it ever tells you to do this, but definitely come over here when you're in the training camp. It's like right in the middle, and push E on that. There you go. It's a way stone. It's a fast travel point. And then I'm going to do the same when I get down here to the village that was destroyed. And then we can fast travel between those 2 points. It saves a lot of time later on. See you in a bit. I'm being chased by a glowing yellow rat. I've made it back to the village. Alright, let's get rid of this guy. So he has like magic essence. That's why he's yellow. There we go. Alright, defeated. Investigate destroyed houses. So it is after midnight. It's a little dark in here. I think I can craft a torch. And I can show off a fun bug. Basic armor, yeah. I need a bunch of logs. All right. So just find these little bushes here. Each one of those gives you a log, strangely enough. All right, let's craft up a torch. Go back to my eye for inventory. We used to have that on 7, so we'll just stick it on 7. And if I hit that, hey, we have a torch. I think, yeah, once you get a shield, there's a bug where the flame stays on your body once you equip the shield. But we're good for now. So we're back here. We want to craft. Oh no, I want to go back to the Lindale. It switched quests on me. Investigate destroyed houses, and that will kind of kick off everything. But I wanted to show you here. On a well, you can hit E, and you can clean your clothes up. There we go. Get all cleaned up. So you just have to go in these houses. This is your like destroyed village, and it's going to have a quest to eventually, I think, restore this village. That's a little bit broken. I haven't got it to work on my main save. So we'll see. I'm going to be putting in some bug reports for this game. All right, it wants us to explore the woodlands. I don't remember what it has us do over there. But also, while I was running up here, I got another quest to get a mount. So we'll do some of that stuff in the next video. I'm going to head back. Where is my spawn point? Not have that marked? Normally it would have my spawn point marked. I wanted to go sleep through the night. Well, that's the wrong trail. There's several trails out of this village. Anyway, we'll do that next video. If you want to see more, let me know. I can do a couple more tutorial videos, like getting your mount, kind of just getting started. This game has a ton of potential, I think. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, I've got about 25 hours into it so far. And it's a lot of fun. There's a ton of like crafting and automation and stuff you can get into. It's just really, really buggy, unfortunately. So hopefully they'll keep working on it. Get those bugs fixed. Oh, I never set my spawn point. That's why it's not showing up on the map. It doesn't tell you to do that, so I didn't do it. But if you come here to your pelt that you put down. There we go. Set spawn point. Can't rest because I have a torch out. Why can't I rest? No? Okay. Fun. Like I said, there's a lot of bugs in the game. I don't know what's going on. If you want to see more, let me know. I will try to get it to daylight. And we'll get a horse, and that really opens up the map once you have a horse. Thanks as always for watching, folks. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.